ओम नमः शिवाय। नमस्कार। वेलकम टू कुंडली कंसल्ट। कुंडली कंसल्ट में एक बार फिर आप सबका स्वागत है। टुडे इज महाशिवरात्रि। On this occasion, today I will discuss about the importance of ShivLing as it is told in Shiv Puran. There are many myths which go around about Shiv Puran, about ShivLing. Some people talk that you should not keep a ShivLing at home. Some say you should keep it at home. Some prescribe various heights up to which you can keep ShivLing at home, so on and so forth. Today, let me try to clarify all those myths. And along with that, I will also talk about some universal remedies which anyone can do with a ShivLing, whether at home or at any temple. And whatever I'm going to talk about ShivLing today is only and only as described in Shiv Puran and its interpretation from there. Let me start by saying that Shiv Puran was written by Maharishi Parashar. It is a dialogue in which Maharishi Parashar is telling a lot of his disciples what Shiv Mahadev or Adi Shiv told in his own language, which became Shiv Puran, and Maharishi Parashar is just retelling it. And for your those people who are thinking which Maharishi Parashar it is same Maharishi Parashar who has written Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, the Bible of astrology. Okay, let's start. So the story goes in Shiv Puran that once between Brahma and Vishnu, there was a talk or an argument, who is supreme? And they were almost at blows to each other, trying to prove who is superior. At that point in time, a huge column of fire emerged between them. There seemed to be no beginning, no end of that fire column. Immediately, both of them decided that whoever can discover the end of that fire column would be termed as victorious and would be supreme. So with this decision, Lord Vishnu went downwards to see where is the beginning, and Brahma went upwards to see where is the start at the top. Shiv Puran says that both of them went on for ages and ages, one going up and one going down, but none could reach the end. At last, Brahma, while going up, still going up, saw a flower of Ketki coming down. And he asked the Ketki that please be in my support. I will declare that I have reached the top and you will be my witness. And for this favor, in my worship, you as a flower, Ketki flower, will be the most important flower. And with that, he started his journey back. On the other side, Lord Vishnu, when he could not reach the bottom, he just gave up and started going back. So when both of them met, Lord Vishnu claimed that, sorry, I have not been able to find out the bottom, therefore I lose. And immediately Lord Brahma said, yes, I have seen the top. And for me, the witness is this Ketki flower. The moment he said this, a voice emerged from that beam of fire, and Mahadev appeared in his form as you see it, as Mahadev is seen. and said that Brahma was lying. And for that, he cursed him that he will not be worshipped. And that is why you do not have worship of Brahma. The only temple of Brahma, famous temple of Brahma, is at Pushkar in Rajasthan. And he was happy with Vishnu because he told the truth and laid established that henceforth Vishnu or Narayan would be prayed by all. Now, this column of fire which emerged is defined in Shiv Puran as which does not have a beginning, does not have an end. It is Anant and it is called as Adi Shiv. And the miniature version of this without beginning and end fire column is nothing but the ling of the ShivLing. In due course, in Shiv Puran, the same deity who emerges as Adi Shiv from that column says to mankind and in words of Parashar that he describes himself as Anant, without beginning, without end, without any form. And he himself has divided himself into three visible forms which can be worshipped by all. And those three parts are Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh in the Shiv form that we see today. So it is that Anant Adi Shiv from that linga who divides into the Trinity. And then in the Shiv Puran, he further goes to say that that form has both the male and the female ingredients or attributes in it. So the male parts he separates out with the Trinity, and the female part he separates out with Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Adi Shakti, which comes in various forms as Sati and later on Parvati. So the Trinity with their consorts are actually together parts of that huge ling. And the ling is the male part defined, and the yoni part that you see on ShivLing is the female part. So together, that's why the ShivLing together, it constitutes the Adi Shiv, that is the male and the female together. This is the story, this is the description which is given about ShivLing at none other than Shiv Mahapuran. Now, there can be various interpretations and all these things. Today, I am not going into that. But what is important to realize, and this is where the rest of the myths come in, a ShivLing is therefore a representation of the ultimate Paramatma or God, who himself divides into the Trinity and their consorts in small forms. So ShivLing is therefore the most powerful that you can have of Paramatma or Param Shakti, whatever you may call it, in your house, in your temple. And therefore the various myths emerge. Should you keep it? Should you keep it not? I will go to that. But what you must realize is that if it is the complete, if it is the whole, and therefore it goes on, describes the various attributes of this in various chapters of Shiv Puran, it has all the energy of the universe in it, which means both the positive and the negative. So the question is, as the smallest being, humankind who have been created by Brahma and managed by the entire Trinity, do we have the power to control this positive and negative when we establish it at our home, at our temple? So remember, the ShivLing in your house or in your temple, which is worshipped every day, has enormous power to absorb all the positive and negative energy of the cosmos around you. And therefore, what you should get is a control over the negative energy, as well as passing on to you and your environment around you the positive energy. And this is where, because again, it defines that if ShivLing is there, it should be worshipped in certain minimum ways every day. And that is basically so that the cosmic energy can be handled and controlled. Otherwise, it will give you both positive and negative, which you may not be able to handle. And therefore, then the question, should we keep it at home or keep it remote? Going further, so the bigger the ShivLing, the greater the power of it to draw the cosmic energy into it and dissipate to people who are praying. And therefore, again, what is the signs of the ShivLing that you have? So to answer your question, or the myths which have been going around, yes, you can keep a ShivLing at home, provided you do your pujas every day in a certain way, and therefore are able to manage the both positive and negative energy, that this powerful thing, this powerful representation of the whole cosmic energy of Adi Shiv can provide to you. And how big it should be? Obviously, the amount you can control. And therefore, a lot of people say that even if you keep ShivLing at home, keep it as a small size. It is not because of anything else, but because so that you are able to handle that energy. Be sure, if every day you are praying to ShivLing at home or a temple, you will have the energies passing on to you, positive or negative. And therefore, from there comes the minimum rituals of having a ShivLing and the remedies. So the easiest and the simplest, and what you should do every day if you have a ShivLing or you go to a temple with a ShivLing, is pour water. Water is the easiest remedy, as well as probably the only simplest puja that you can do to a ShivLing without damaging any negative energy or harnessing any negative energy, and trying to gather as much positive energy as possible. Why water? Because the water is therefore the symbolic part of cleaning down all the negative energies. Why is water poured on ShivLing? It has something to do with Samudra Manthan, which I will probably talk about in another day. But essentially, even from that story, what it comes out is this water was poured on ShivLing, or water was poured on Mahadev after Samudra Manthan to cool him down, to control the negative energy within him, which he had accumulated from the world, the poison that he had accumulated from Samudra. So when you pour water over the ShivLing, you are essentially pouring down the negative energy so that only the positive energy passes down to you. The other part, which again, there's a video which I made long time back, but I think very few people saw it, which was, what is there in your hand in destiny? Is it everything by horoscope? And there I had mentioned that the 3 houses where you are given a choice of taking a decision by your horoscope are the 3 watery signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So water is your desire. Water is your ability to control things. And that's why you would see, in earlier times, if you would have read books or seen the visual in cinema and all, whenever sages wanted to curse anybody or boon anybody, they would take water in your hand. Your Panditji asks you to take water in your hand and do sankalp. Water is something where you can transfer your energy. And that is why it signifies your ability to control your destiny to some extent by worshipping MahaKaal, Mahadev, and the Shiv. And therefore, water worship is the most important. Pouring water over ShivLing is the most important thing that you must do every day if you have ShivLing at home, because it collects all the negative and positive cosmic energies. So every day when you're pouring water in it, you are trying to control the negative part while expressing your desire, your willingness to do good through whatever control you can have. So water is one of the remedies which you can do universally every time, every day, and that should be done if you have a ShivLing. Coming to the others. Milk, that is another thing which is poured on ShivLing. Milk is actually for health. So when you're pouring milk over ShivLing, you're actually wanting your health and to some extent control over your mind, or you can say controlling your stress level, your mind, and therefore that gives you a better health. You can pour milk on the Mahashivratri, Masik Shivratris, and on Mondays. Every day milk pouring, unless you're doing it every day, don't do it just once in a while. Do it on a Monday only if you are doing pouring milk. Otherwise, water is enough. Second, offer flowers or fruit to Shivlinga. That signifies your strengthening your Brihaspati or your Guru, which the planet which is completely benefic. And that actually gives you happiness. So when you give offer flower or fruits to Shivling as a remedy, it is for happiness. Next is honey. If you pour honey to ShivLing and do it generally either on a Saturday or every day. So pouring honey over ShivLing, especially on Saturdays, it basically overcomes obstacles which you get stuck in life. Things if they are not progressing, if they get stuck, or things if they do not happen. That is where honey pouring over ShivLing gives a control, you can say, over that, reduces your struggle, or kickstarts things which have not been happening. Everybody wants wealth. Now, for wealth, what you do is put rice grains, chawal ke dane on ShivLing every day or on Fridays. This is supposed to return you wealth. Bel Patra and Dhatura is basically you can offer to ShivLing every day. It again is supposed to give an overall health, happiness. Dhatura specifically for removing the pains in life. Bel Patra for happiness and health. So these are the general remedies of ShivLing, which gives results to people if you do it properly. Water, most important, every day. Milk for health on Mondays or every day. Rice grain for wealth on Friday or every day. Honey, if things are getting stuck up or things are not moving, there are a lot of obstacles. On Saturdays or on every day. Fruits and flowers, especially on Thursday or every day, to get general happiness in life. Now, the other concept, which is generally prevalent, is that you get your answers very easily from worshipping Mahadev or ShivLing. Actually, it is not true. This interpretation has somehow been changed. Let me tell you, Shiv Puran says that if you worship ShivLing, the whatever you want, whatever you have, I have told you as remedies, these happen very slowly. But these are permanent in nature as long as you keep in faith. So please forget this out of your mind that things will happen fast. It will not happen. A ShivLing of the Paramatma has the power to change you, and it gives you the results by changing you and the surrounding and your thinking. So things happen slowly with it, but permanently. So why is it said that you get results easily? It is because it is not about getting results easily. It is the ease is not in timing, but in worship. Shiv, worshipping of Shiv, Mahadev or ShivLing has no rules. Worshipping of Lord Vishnu Narayan has lot of rules. Shiv has no rules. So that is why if you simply pour water over ShivLing, you start getting results. So there are no defined rules in Shiv worship. You can worship him any way that you want as long as it is from your heart. This is what Shiv Puran says. So what you say is that you get results quickly is not about that. It has that interpretation has been changed. The real interpretation is that you don't need to learn rules. You don't need to care about rules when you're worshiping Mahadev or ShivLing, as long as you have the faith and the heart. And the ShivLing and Mahadev, MahaKaal will deliver. As long as there is faith, the intention is good, and the perseverance is there. Parvati had to go through ages of worship. At the last stage, left her food also to get Mahadev. It is symbolic of the fact that you do not get things easily. I don't know from where the interpretation that the results come quickly is come. Results through worship of ShivLing do come without fail, but it comes slowly, and it comes if the intention and the faith is there. And it's an energy house to harness both positive and negative. So if you go with a negative ill will out there in front of ShivLing, life around will be a turmoil around you. It will just collect the negative energy and pass it to you. So it is very important, therefore, that you pour water over ShivLing and go in front of a ShivLing with positive mind frame. I hope in this occasion of Mahashivratri, I have been able to tell you simple method and simple remedies of worshipping Adishiv as defined in Shiv Puran. Do subscribe to my channel on YouTube to continue to get videos, and subscribe to my Telegram channel to get regular updates on astrology. Thank you. Namaskar. Om Namah Shivaya.